I'm Aila. I'm a registered nurse and an advanced EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, practitioner. The Emotional Freedom Technique is the most powerful technique I have ever found for helping people to free themselves from limiting thoughts, emotions, and even physical pain. Today, we're not really going to talk about all those different aspects of what EFT can be used for. What I'd like to do right now is just teach you the very basic EFT technique. The technique is simple and powerful when used correctly and specifically. The first step is to decide what it is that you want to clear from your system. The more specific you can be about the emotion, the pain, the location, the thought that you may be having that's limiting you, the more effective this technique can be. So what you want to do first is sit down and maybe even write exactly what it is that's bothering you. And that will become the focus of your EFT session. Once you've decided what it is, give it the intensity of that a score from 0 to 10. So let's say you're really angry with someone, and the more you think about it, the angrier you get, and now it's maybe at an 8 or a 9 on the intensity scale. Just make note of that intensity. Now, the next step is the setup, what we call the setup phrase, and we're going to use the side of the hand called the karate chop point, right about where you would chop a karate board. You're going to tap on that spot, and while you tap on the spot, you're going to say a phrase. That phrase starts with, even though, now insert the problem that you want to focus on or the issue. Even though I'm really angry with so-and-so, because of what they did yesterday, and you can specify exactly what they did, the more specific you are, the more effective this will be. Even though I am feeling, thinking, or having this experience, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. You don't even have to say love, just I deeply and profoundly accept myself. Now that's a really important part of the phrase, because what we're doing here is saying basically, no matter what, I'm okay. And you can use any words you actually feel more comfortable with. But you say the phrase, be specific about the issue, and then add that tail end, I deeply and profoundly accept myself. The next step is to remind yourself to stay focused on the issue and tap on these points. The eyebrow point, we're going to tap here, using 2 fingers usually. The side of the eye, this anger, under the eye, this frustration, this anger, whatever it is that was in your phrase, just get it down to 1 or 2 words and focus on those words on these points. Under the nose, in the chin groove, on the collarbone. You'll find your collarbone by noticing there's a little U-shaped bone here. You can tap to either side. In fact, it doesn't matter if you use the right or the left side of your body. Just use either one. And some people actually use both. So that's fine too. Under the arm, about 2 inches under the armpit, and the top of the head. So each time you're tapping, you're saying your phrase. This anger, this problem with so-and-so, whatever it is that you're focusing in on. The next points are on the hand. Now, when you've done the body and the face points, you can stop there sometimes. Just take a deep breath. And at that point, see where your intensity is. If it's come down quite a bit, that may be all you need. If it hasn't come down all the way to 0, you might want to do those face and body points again. If, on the other hand, your intensity has not come down very far, you might want to go on to the finger points. The finger points are right at the side of the finger where the nail meets the finger. And just tapping right on the side of the thumb, saying your phrase again. This anger, or this frustration, or this pain in my left shoulder. Each finger on the outside, on that inside side of the finger. You can skip the ring finger if you want to, or you can go ahead and tap it. But the ring finger is not as important as the others. The last point I want to show you is called the 9 gamut point. That point is right between the pinky and the knuckle of your ring finger in the groove on the back of your hand. If you tap on this point, we're going to do something different here. On this point, we're going to do some eye movements, looking straight ahead. Close your eyes, open your eyes. Now, without moving your head, look down hard to the right, down hard to the left. The next step is circle the eyes clockwise and counterclockwise. Now we're going to hum. Usually I use something everyone knows, like Happy Birthday. Then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then hum again. Take a deep breath. And see where your intensity level is now. We're not going into a lot of background on why this works and how it works, but the humming and the eye movements have to do with integrating both sides of your brain. And so those are important. This may look a little silly at times, and you might want to do this, in a private place, or let's say you're upset out in a public area, go to the restroom and then, you can do your tapping. This can be very efficient. Once you start doing the tapping on a more regular basis, you'll find that you can shorten it up. There are shortcuts, and there are also other techniques. We're not going into that in this particular video. This is just the basic EFT technique and the basic points. You can use this technique for a number of different issues, and you can find a lot more information on our website, ailaspeaks.com. You can also get links there to other resources, as well as practitioners. And I really advise you, this is a great technique that you can learn yourself and use yourself. You can teach it to others. It works for children as well as adults. But I advise you to find a practitioner to work with initially, because that practitioner can give you some of the refinements on the technique that can really help this to be effective for you. You can use this for cravings, weight loss, giving up smoking. You can use it for even more serious kinds of issues that might be bothering you over the long term. Old issues of abuse. And I've used it with men and women with great success. So that having been said, this is the purpose of this video. I want to wish you emotional freedom so that your life can be happier, healthier, and more prosperous.